What would you do if you were lost at sea for over a year? No land, no rescue, just a tiny boat, a raging ocean, and death staring at you every single day. This is not fiction. This is the true story of José Salvador Alvarenga, the man who drifted across the Pacific Ocean for 438 days. He faced starvation, storms, and crushing loneliness. Yet somehow, against all odds, he survived. His story is one of the greatest survival tales in human history. José Salvador Alvarenga was a seasoned fisherman from El Salvador, living and working along the coast of Mexico. To many, he was just another man of the sea, experienced, fearless, and hardworking. But the ocean, as every fisherman knows, is as cruel as it is generous. It gives life, but it can also take it away in an instant. In late 2012, José prepared for what seemed like a routine fishing trip. He was joined by a young companion, just 22 years old. Together, they set off in a small fiberglass boat, barely 7 meters long, carrying basic supplies, fuel, fishing gear, and a few provisions. Nothing unusual, nothing that hinted at the nightmare to come. But what began as an ordinary day on the water would soon spiral into one of the most extraordinary survival stories ever recorded. Within hours, the skies would darken, the winds would rise, and José's life would be hurled into a fight against nature itself. Just hours after setting out, the horizon shifted. Black clouds gathered like a wall, swallowing the sun. The sea that had been calm and welcoming turned violent, waves rising higher and higher, crashing against their small boat. The storm came fast and merciless. Sheets of rain blinded them, thunder roared overhead, and the wind howled like a beast. José and his young companion fought desperately to keep control, gripping the tiller, clinging to their gear, praying the boat would hold. But nature was relentless. Their radio, their GPS, their engine, all failed in the chaos. The little fiberglass vessel was tossed like a toy in the vast Pacific. Every second was a battle not to capsize. The ocean swallowed their fuel and most of their supplies. All that remained was their courage and each other. When the storm finally passed, silence fell over the endless blue. But for José and his companion, survival had only just begun. They were now adrift, with no engine, no oars, no way home, and thousands of miles of open ocean ahead. When the storm cleared, the ocean stretched endlessly in every direction. No land, no ships, no help. Just two men in a crippled boat, drifting into the unknown. At first, José tried to stay calm. He rationed what little food remained, some fish, a few turtles they managed to catch, even rainwater collected in empty containers. He kept his companion's spirits up, reminding him, "We'll be found. The currents will carry us back. Someone will come." But days turned into weeks. The sea was merciless. Their supplies ran out. Hunger gnawed at their stomachs. Thirst burned their throats. Sometimes they drank turtle blood to survive. Sometimes they ate raw fish with their bare hands. José knew one truth: stopping meant dying. He forced himself and his companion to keep going. Even when the Pacific sun scorched their skin, even when storms returned, tossing them like rag dolls, he whispered hope into the silence of the sea. But deep inside, he feared the truth. They weren't just lost. They were being carried farther and farther away, into the heart of the Pacific Ocean, with no end in sight. Weeks dragged on, and the silence of the ocean grew heavier. José's young companion, Ezequiel Cordoba, was fading. He was just 22 years old, and unlike José, he had never been to sea for long stretches. The hunger, the thirst, the despair, it broke him. At first, Ezequiel refused to eat the raw fish, the turtle meat, the bird flesh José offered. His body weakened, his eyes hollowed. He whispered that he wanted real food, bread, fruit, water that didn't taste of salt and blood. But there was none, only the endless blue. José begged him, "Eat, hermano, you must eat, we'll be rescued." But his words could not hold back death. After nearly 4 months adrift, Ezekiel's body gave out. In the stillness of the ocean, José held him, watching helplessly as the sea claimed another life. José was left completely alone, alone with the sun, alone with the storms, alone with the silence of the Pacific and the crushing weight of survival. For weeks that stretched into months, José's boat drifted endlessly across the Pacific, carried by currents he couldn't control. The ocean was both his prison and his only hope. Days blurred into nights. He had no clock, no calendar. He marked time only by the waxing and waning of the moon. Seasons seemed to change above him, but his reality stayed the same: water, sky, and silence. Storms came suddenly, violent walls of wind and rain that threatened to flip his fragile boat. He clung to life, bailing water with his bare hands, praying each wave wouldn't be his last. Then there were the dead calms, weeks when the ocean turned to glass and the sun beat down mercilessly. His skin cracked and blistered, his lips split open. Hunger and thirst stalked him, and yet he refused to surrender. José began talking to God, to the ocean, to his family. Some days he sang songs from his village, just to remind himself he was human. And through it all, he kept fighting. His instincts as a fisherman kept him alive, but his will to see his daughter again kept him going. He was adrift for so long, he almost stopped believing land even existed. Despite the hopelessness, José never stopped fighting. He learned to catch rainwater using empty containers, sometimes even scooping it with his hands. He fashioned makeshift tools from scraps on the boat, turning hooks and lines into his lifeline. His fisherman's instinct guided him, snaring turtles, grabbing fish with his bare hands, and even drinking turtle blood when thirst was unbearable. But beyond tools and tricks, it was his resilience, the refusal to give up, that truly kept him alive. Time became a blur. The beard on his face grew long, his body withered, and his muscles wasted away. He was no longer the strong fisherman who had set out to sea. He had become a ghost of himself. Yet, through pain, hunger, and loneliness, his determination to live never wavered. Each sunrise was a reminder. If he could survive one more day, perhaps rescue was still possible. After over a year at sea, José spotted land, the Marshall Islands. Barefoot, weak, and barely recognizable as human, he crawled ashore. The locals who found him could hardly believe his story. Doctors confirmed it. José had survived more than 13 months adrift at sea, a feat almost beyond imagination. José Salvador Alvarenga's story isn't just about survival at sea. It's about the strength of the human spirit, the willpower to endure the impossible. His ordeal reminds us that even in our darkest moments, hope can carry us through storms, hunger, and despair. Against all odds, José proved that as long as life remains, survival is possible.
What would you do if your life depended on survival?
What lesson did you take from this unbelievable survival? Drop comments.
Even in the darkest night, courage can emerge from the most unexpected places. In the darkest moments, ordinary people can do extraordinary things. Bravery isn't loud. It's kind, it's calm, and sometimes it wears an apron. Thank you for watching. If this video didn't waste your valuable time or added any value to your life, even just a little, please consider subscribing to Hello Stories. Until next time, goodbye, warriors.